Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we will reflect on the testimony of Matthew the Evangelist in chapter 17, verses 24 to 27. We experience struggles, suffering, and death very intensely, but we often forget that we are called to share in the destiny of Jesus Christ, which is certainly passion and death on the cross, but also resurrection. God always brings life out of death. He always brings forth a masterpiece from what we instead feel to be the end: darkness, helplessness, and weakness. This is the first great lesson. Let us remember, whenever we find ourselves in the tribulations of life, that the final word of that struggle is resurrection. It is not suffering for its own sake, nor death for its own sake, because there is resurrection. And resurrection is not only an event of the future, it is something that already echoes within this life. But we are not trained to look at our existence with Easter eyes. If someone were to say to us, "Make me a list of everything that is going wrong," we would gladly share it. But if they asked us, "Now tell me about Easter in your life. Tell me about today's Easter," we would answer, "Today's Easter? How can I do that? If you want, I can tell you about the anger I experienced, the situations I had to face, but I do not have much testimony about Easter." This is because the victory of the cross is the resurrection, and we are not used to bearing witness to it. Today's gospel passage speaks about the debt paid by Jesus Christ in order to give us this daily resurrection. Returning to the verses, the rule was this: every male over the age of 20 had to pay, once a year, a contribution equal to 2 days' wages, which was used for worship. So they go to St. Peter and ask him, "Doesn't your teacher pay the tax?" Peter answers yes, but in reality, he does not know. Peter tells what we might call a white lie, but immediately afterward, Jesus saves him. When Peter enters the house to explain what happened, Jesus already knows what he is about to ask, and he speaks words that become an immense examination of conscience for each one of us. "What do you think, Simon? From whom do kings collect taxes and duties? From their own sons or from strangers?" And Peter, who understands, replies, "From strangers. The sons pay nothing." So are we slaves of God, or are we children of God? We are meant to be children, and children do not pay taxes. Yet how often do we live our Christian faith as though we constantly had to pay a tax? Now I make a sacrifice, and I will obtain something else. Now I behave well, and you will give me a blessing, as if our relationship with God were one enormous tax payment. We behave toward God as though we were slaves. And here we see the wisdom and delicacy of Jesus Christ, who replies, "Then the sons are free. But so as not to scandalize them, go to the sea, cast in a hook, and take the first fish that comes up. Open its mouth, and you will find a silver coin. Take it and give it to them for me and for you." In conclusion, we can say by analogy that Jesus has already paid that tax in order to redeem us as children. It is as though the sea represents suffering, death, and the passion, while that fish is really Jesus himself, carrying in his mouth the payment for each one of us. It is almost as though the gospel wanted to say, "Peter, go and pay, because I am offering myself for everyone." Let us remember this